Hello, hello. Welcome to the Swerv Show.
Hey. What's up, folks?
Hey. All right, it's July 25th, and we've got a packed house here. We've got, of course, where am I? Oh, okay, on my left, we've got Racine Pendarvis. Say hi, Racine.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Racine's a little dark, Jacob.
I am a little dark. I feel the shade.
We've got Tony Nelson and this lovely, what is it? It's not a bird. It's not it's a reddish summer.
But I'm looking at the TV. It looks coral.
I wore my green.
Is coral a
It's
color?
looking
I don't know
coral
what
from
coral
there.
is.
Salmon. Yes.
Salmon.
Yes. It's salmon.
Okay, and then of course we've got Yorde Noir.
What's up, folks?
Here.
Welcome back to the Swerve Show.
And we've got a special guest with us. He's going to be with us all evening long. We've got Joseph, the misunderstood social worker.
So excited.
Excited. With his signature top hat there. We're gonna talk about that later. He's gonna let us know what's going on in his world these days. He's a very busy man. So we're gonna get started. Everyone want to check in real quick? Racine, you want to give us a check in?
Short and brief, please.
Short check-in. Is the monitor ready? Do we have it clear?
Oh, we've got the Racine show coming up first week in August. Do we have that? We have that. There we go. August 1st. Wow, August 1st.
Yes, it's our annual poetry slam sponsored by DC Homos. It's a chance for an artist to present an original piece.
Okay.
Original piece, and you can win $100. Audience picks the winner.
Oh, I'm coming.
There are no judges. The wonderful Broadway star Ross White.
And Roz is supposed to join us sometime in August.
Listening Lounge. Private Tales is our special burlesque performer in DJ Rosie. So it's free. Doors open at 6. All are welcome.
Okay, all right.
I'll be there.
Tony Nelson, what's going on with you, sir?
I'm recovering from last weekend. I was in Petersburg one day, and I performed with several RuPaul Drag Race celebrities, like Kennedy Davenport. Yeah, it was lots of fun. Kennedy Davenport,
Chevelle Brooks.
She was on RuPaul's Drag Race, but she's a legend. Chevelle Brooks, Chevelle Brooks,
yes.
And Mystique Summers. A couple of them was there, so it was a lot of fun. And then I came back and I did my regular gig at Miss Did Henry's Strong J's Lipstick Review, which is the fourth Sunday of every month.
Absolutely.
And Yarde joined us.
I did.
I told you it's the most fun. It's the most fun.
We got to go. For some reason, we can't get there on Sunday.
Maxine Blue was there this week, and I think she's going to be back again. But but the thing we're doing is we're looking for co-hosts each month with me. So if you want to co-host with me, just send me an inbox me. Yeah.
Joseph, you want to co-host?
Come on, Joseph.
Absolutely. I would love to.
Joseph, come on now. So if you want to co-host with me one Sunday at Strong J's Lipstick Review, just send me an inbox message, and I got you.
Definitely. I would love to stand next to you.
I would love for you to stand next to me. It'll be lots of
So
fun.
I got a question real quick though.
Sure.
With
Facebook Live.
RuPaul's folks. Do you think that they might borrow some elements of your act?
Well, no, I want to borrow some money from them because they're making a lot of cash.
Baby,
but
that
they're making lots of
right.
cash. But no, I don't know. I mean, most of them know me. I've met most of them before, like Mystique. I've met her before, and I've met Kennedy, and she was fabulous.
I just don't want to look up on the show and say, That's Tony's number right there.
I will say this. After last year, I've been doing that show for the last 8 years, and last year one of the RuPaul Drag Race girls was there, and then later on in that season they had the whole thing with the girls with beards and makeup. So I was like, oh, and now all of a sudden the girls with beards and makeup is the big thing now.
It's the rage.
Well,
it's all the rage.
You created that, Tony. You created that.
But
20 years.
You were the pioneer.
Everybody kind of steals from everybody. Look,
And I'm okay with it.
everybody stole. They all stole from me. Be off. Share.
Not Beyonce.
Beyonce.
So
Baby, if that ain't Jackie's back, they all stole from me.
Jennifer Lewis stole from a couple people. So Yarde, what's going on with you?
Well, everybody, I just got back from Orlando, Florida.
We saw.
I went to the American Student Government Association conference.
Somebody's phone needs
It
to be
was
turned
actually
down. Who's
it was actually amazing. I met a whole bunch of people from across the country. A lot of different. Hold on one second. Can you tell him to turn his phone down in the hallway? Thank you.
We love you, everybody in Facebook.
So it was absolutely amazing. Shout out to Winston-Salem University. They had their president and vice president of the student government was there, and also Delaware State. So
Delaware State,
Delaware
okay.
State, yes. So those were two predominantly populated black universities that was there outside of UDC. So I wanted to definitely give them a shout out. But it was absolutely an amazing experience.
Okay,
I was
all right,
proud
we'll look
of
forward to
you.
hearing
Thank you.
about that. Okay, so
We
so
have a
we're
lot
gonna
of
get into
people
some stuff.
watching
We're
us
gonna talk.
Facebook Live.
We're gonna come to Joseph
Joseph's gonna
later.
tell us. He's gonna tell us everything.
Daryl,
But
Jackie,
we're gonna get into some
Robin,
stuff.
Kurt.
Okay, let's
Thank
go.
y'all for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you
Like
all.
and
Facebook
share, like
Live.
and
Like and
share.
share
Like
our
and
posts.
share.
But Joseph can chime in with the stuff, right?
Oh,
Sandra
yeah,
Lopez.
make sure you chime in if you
Oh,
want.
Sandra's on.
Absolutely.
Stay
All right, let's talk
Dante,
about news.
we
Let's
love
talk
you
about
from-
news. Can we bring up the?
Yes, we love
So-
everybody.
What's happening?
So we're on news.
What's
Okay.
Trump doing now?
So there's one. The first
Daryl
issue is
Frazier.
the murders of black transgender women in Jacksonville, Florida. There's been 3 for the year, and what they're thinking is it may be a serial killer there, which is interesting. And, the one thing that really bothers me about this is we don't have any national black news. So now that Ronald, what's his name, Roland Martin. Without Roland, we don't know what's going on in our country around black issues. There's nothing on the national news about
It's
it.
sad.
Yeah,
It's
you-
horrible. It's deplorable. And and unfortunately, in this country, when it comes to especially transgender people, transgender males and females, but especially of color, they are expendable.
Yeah.
And when one is killed, it affects us all. Right. And the moment unfortunately, a Caucasian white male who happens to be a part of the LGBT community is killed, it becomes
national.
sensationalized.
It's a national.
Right, sure,
and
sure.
And it should be that way with everyone.
Yeah, and there have been 12 this year
So
protected.
I know you were getting ready to say something. Oh, by the way, welcome to the show. Just
Thank you.
jump
Hi,
in.
Joseph.
Thank you,
Welcome.
thank you,
Please
thank
jump
you.
in.
These hoes will try to talk over you, so just
No,
jump in.
just jump in.
Joseph.
So I just want to say this, and you know what though, that was a good point that you brought up about Roland Martin. I do agree that there is no national space for
Right. Yeah, there's nothing.
black news. However, you know what? Sometimes social media can be a gift and a curse, but in the scheme of things, social media has been a great platform for giving information to people. Because,
agree.
Sure.
I have so many different trans advocates and vloggers who post every day, and every day there's something on their website or their social media page where they're talking about this needs to stop.
Right.
So, I guess for me in my news feed, I'm always seeing something as it relates to the murders and just the lack of coverage when it
Sure.
comes to when one of us are hurt or
Right.
killed, or even down to and I'm not trying to change the narrative of this, but just even down to the quote unquote butch queen, who was found dead in his apartment.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear about that
And the
one.
bigger, no, this is just the story.
Right.
Right. Happens all the time.
And the
Right,
trade
it does.
may have done something to him.
Sure.
I'm noticing that these things they come to life on social media.
Yeah.
Right.
And
But the
so-
reason I said that though is because, I have my issues with Roland, and but I did appreciate the platform, and he really did include LGBT issues,
Yeah,
and he
he
talked
does.
about the violence against
And
black
call people out to the carpet.
Yes, he did, but he did talk about the violence with black transgender women, and he really called out the other organizations, the NAACP. He called out the National Organization of Women about, look, where are you?
Yeah.
These are women. Where are you? And so I just said that there's a lack of awareness, even within our general community, within the black LGBT community. We're not really talking about this
So
issue.
what I think is quite interesting. So I was having this conversation today with Trinice McCallie, who is going to be in charge of the Multicultural Diversity Center on UDC campus, and they were talking about an initiative they're working to decriminalize sex work, not to legalize it, but to decriminalize it, which means that a lot of times you have women who are of the trans experience who, because there is a challenge in trying to get another type of livelihood, that they do sex work. And so a lot of times what happened is, because they're criminalized, then you're hit with the book, and then you now have a record, and now because it's your only way of survival.
And you have to do it. It has to
Right.
go underground.
Right, it goes underground.
Right,
And then
right.
so what
Right.
happens is, based out of this story that I was reading, about this topic. The challenge has been that they believe that so many more other situations have happened and violence acts have happened with trans women in the area, but they're afraid to speak up because they're in the midst of sex work. And so when I was having this conversation today and then I read this article, I was like, this is what she meant by decriminalizing sex work.
I say,
So
let's
give them a
decriminalize
fine.
it and let them pay taxes.
Right.
Let them pay taxes. I agree.
And then I'm opening up a house and I'm going to give
Yes.
girls health insurance.
Tax that punani, baby. Yes.
All right, let's keep it moving, y'all. Let's keep moving. We got another item, and this item just broke my heart. I think we have this issue. We have an image for it. Image number 3. So the Coleman family from Indianapolis, y'all. So I don't know if you know the story on this trip. So it was 11 of them went on this trip. They're from Indianapolis. They went to Missouri.
And
They had a group of, and only 9 of them survived because this boat turned over. Just the mother and her 1-year-old child. And if you don't know this story,
No, it was the nephew.
It's a Was it a nephew.
It
Her
was her
child.
and a nephew.
All her children died.
All of her children died.
and the husband.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was her entire family-in-law. So like
It was her in-laws.
It was her
They were
in-laws. It was her father-in-law, mother-in-law, her husband, her 3 kids, her sister-in-law, and a nephew. And it was one nephew that survived, and she survived.
Right.
That was so sad.
It's heartbreaking.
I mean, my heart goes out to them, and the fact that I didn't hear a whole lot about this story. I heard some, but I didn't hear talk about the family. I heard about the incident, but I didn't talk about who was affected, who was impacted.
I heard quite a bit about it.
did?
When I was leaving, I went to see Common on Friday. When we were leaving, that's when I first heard it, and they were interviewing her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They were talking to her, and she was telling about what the family and she had pneumonia. I remember she was saying she had pneumonia, but I heard quite a bit about it.
I was introduced to it actually by a white gentleman in Orlando. We were in the business center at the hotel, and he was like, "Did you all hear the story about this woman?" And I was like, "No." And he literally showed it to me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go pull it up." And after that, I went and watched the full press conference. I watched the interview she did from the bedside.
Right.
She did an interview from
the
bedside.
and then
Wow.
this is the most tragic story, but there were other stories. Like there was a couple who was there who was celebrating their anniversary. Like they were like 40 or 50 years into marriage, and they went and they were part of and they died together. So you know what I mean? So there were other stories because there were a total of 17 people that died.
And someone else.
Here is something that was minimalized.
I agree.
There were 17 other lives that were also lost.
It was 17 total.
17 total.
So
right,
there was
9 out of 17 were from one family.
So and then they even said to them as they were boarding that they did not need to wear their life
Right, they didn't
jacket.
have life jackets. They
So-
were told.
My whole thing is
Well, they
So
somebody.
let's clarify. Just so we clarify.
And
So
let's
what
keep it
happened
moving.
was when they got on the boat, they told them there are life jackets that are above your head, but you don't have to worry about that because you won't need them. That's how it went down.
yeah.
And so I think one of the things that was negligent about whoever the tour guide was, that when the waters began to go crazy, he did not say, go get a life
the life
jacket.
jackets,
She said in her interview that they told them just sit down. So if they did go to reach for it, they had been instructed to sit down. And if you are in the middle of a crisis and these people are the professionals, I'm going to listen to them.
You tend to listen.
Right. You see what I mean? And had they said, oh my God, this is getting out of hand, everybody grab a life jacket.
Absolutely.
They probably would have survived.
Our hearts go out to them. I just wanted to raise that story up a little bit because our hearts go out to them.
Prayer.
Yes.
Yes.
The entire,
One of
all
those.
the
Yes, it was
lives,
one of those
the
duck
family
boats,
and all
Michael.
of those
Shout out to
lives.
a couple of family members. We have Tanisha Iman is on.
Of
My
course.
mother
Hey,
is
Tanisha.
on.
Michelle Yates is on. Chris Ezell is on.
Yes, Chris Ezell.
Yes.
Madori Ame.
My
Okay.
sister Jackie Nelson is on. She says she wants your hat.
Oh, yes, come through. Come
And
through.
we're going to talk about the hat.
We have
Yes,
13.
Yes, I've had Derek Brown, Tonya Brown, who was here last week as
Oh,
well.
we love
All right,
Tonya.
so we got to keep it moving.
Well,
Okay,
come on,
The
keep
next-
it moving.
The next item: Boston appoints its first black police commissioner.
It's
Tony
about
Brown.
I think
time.
his name is Gaston. What's his name?
Come on, Gaston.
Can you believe that we're still getting first in 2018?
It's all right. Long
Yes,
as
All
Michael,
right,
it is.
longer.
we've been doing it.
made
We're
it.
doing it.
William Gross. William Gross is his name. So congratulations.
Come on,
William.
William.
All right, so we'll
Congrats.
we lift him up.
I'm
All
looking
right.
for you when I come to Boston.
Another issue: Cuba is set to legalize gay marriage.
Oh,
It hasn't
is
happened
huge.
yet, but it's in the works.
Yeah, it's in the works.
Because I understand one of the nieces there,
Castro's
she's a
niece.
lesbian.
Castro's niece is a
Is
lesbian.
a prime advocate.
We
So,
think she is. We
y'all-
think she is. She is the daughter of Castro's brother, the one who took over after Castro, and she was really instrumental in guiding him to being a little more open with LGBTQ.
So hey man,
That's
Cuba-
absolutely
Cuba, isn't that
right.
something?
And that's why
Cuba
we
is
need
changing.
more
It
allies.
is.
We need
Yes.
more people in the political arena to stand up. I thank God that we live in Washington D.C. and we have amazing people.
We
that
live in a
speak
bubble
up for
here in
us.
Washington.
We
live in
are
a
really
bubble.
blessed.
all right. We got one more issue. So the Navy has lifted the ban on dreadlocks for women.
So what about men?
Oh, really?
What was the big deal? I didn't get it. So, but not men because men can't wear long hair in the military.
Okay, but
Right.
women can. But
Women
I know,
can't. But
and
they
I know
didn't want to let them wear
But
dreadlocks.
I do
Go
know
figure,
that
and
in the military that
cornrows.
Right.
even if you have long hair, your hair cannot touch your shoulders. So
Even-
For-
but they
but
have
they
to
were
put it in
pinning
a
it out.
bun.
yeah, you have to pull it up in a
Right.
bun.
But
When
they
I
wouldn't even allow
served
them
in
to
the
put it in a
military, I
bun.
put my hair up in a bun all the time.
Girl, you keep your hair wrapped in a turban.
But they wouldn't even let them put that in a bun. It was just no cornrows. I mean, why? Is there a functional reason
I
for
think
that?
I think a lot of times, because like for instance, me as a therapist, when I initially started, I was in Alabama and I worked in a prison, and I've had my hair for a very long time. I have dreadlocks, and I'm a male, and I know that my hair became a problem, and I had to cut it. So this is actually my second set, and I needed to graduate.
Like a functional problem or just an aesthetic
say
problem?
They said it's a safety issue, but it
Right.
was women that worked in the prison, COs, that had hair longer than me.
I'm sure.
And so I was trying to figure out, you know what? I went as far as to like contact Sister Soldier, and Sister Soldier was like, brother, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And I was just like, I'm not cutting my hair. You know, it's part of my religion. And they was like, what religion is it? And I'm like, I didn't say I was a Rasta, though. Like, you know,
Ja
so, you know,
Rastafari.
but I think that it's a positive thing for the Navy to lift the ban.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
it's
I
well
never understood
overdue.
I never understood that dynamic, and I'm not gonna front. I've always kind of distanced myself from people with bald heads because I always felt judged by your head. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yes. Like
Really?
anybody with bald heads, I always kind of felt like
Judged
he don't
by
like my hair.
I used to
Really?
have-
We don't like your hair.
Look,
Why?
look.
I just felt like that.
Traumatic experience happened to you.
I just felt like that. You know the song by Bob Marley, them crazy bald heads. We're gonna chase them.
Yes,
crazy.
I know that
I
song
think
very
they
well.
said the bald heads will judge you.
Look,
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I used to have locks. I used to have locks.
Yeah, he did.
And I don't have them anymore because
that hairline
nature
receded.
said, it's over. And now I have a bald head.
I mean,
But you know what though? Bald
I'm
head
not
is beautiful
judging
and
it.
sexy.
I think if it's any judgment, it's like, oh, I wish I could grow hair. I mean, I haven't grown hair since I was 26.
Bless God.
Exactly.
But we can always glue it on.
We can buy some.
We can,
Right,
we can-
but I'm gonna tell you,
man
this,
weaves are the
bald
rage.
bald heads are absolutely beautiful.
But you know, but
Thank goodness
but
to
when
Michael
you think
Jordan.
about something like that, you also have to speak to the fact that we know that many Caucasian women do not wear dreadlocks. There are some who
none.
do, yeah, but there are some.
No,
who do.
there are.
But we speak to the culture of people of color primarily. So you know, it is almost an attack on us.
Almost. It definitely is an
you
attack
know,
on
so
us.
it's really sad when you think about that. And here it is in 2018, they're lifting the ban, and that goes to show that once again.
First,
It's a first.
But you know the irony about it to me though, for the military, so it's okay for me to put a chemical in my hair and fry it and straighten it and all that stuff, but I can't wear it natural.
just let it
and
do
twist
whatever.
it.
Somebody said you can wear your hair natural, but no, the man weaves. That's what somebody on Facebook.
All right, so let's keep it moving. Okay, so we got what's hot. We got a lot of stuff on what's hot. We're gonna have to move it quick. So, Pose, the season finale.
Bam!
You see that?
I
Bam!
didn't see it yet.
oh, yes, God.
Okay, tell us how you really feel.
I was working.
All I can say is the House of Pendarvis represented so well.
So
I'm
was
sorry.
that
Hold on,
the
Racine
real-
Pendarvis in the
hold
building.
on. Tony Nelson, I want to hear your thoughts.
Racine Pendarvis in the building, the legendary mother.
Was that the real house mother that was?
No,
No.
our real house mother, the mother emeritus is Avis Pendarvis. She
Well,
was
that's
always
the original,
the-
but-
Who was from D.C.?
Who was from D.C.
Gag.
But we have several mothers, such as Desiree Pendarvis, Tanae Pendarvis, and other mothers in different chapters. I am the grandmother, the granddaughter.
Oh, okay.
The auntie, the granddaughter.
Great.
Well, you know, I
Tony
thought-
Nelson,
I thought-
you was getting ready to say something,
ahead, Tony.
and
What
I
you
know that we
about
cut you
what?
off. Oh no, you was
all
getting ready to say
pretty
something. I
absurd.
want to make sure that we give.
I
you
missed
some
the
time.
show.
Oh, okay.
Tony.
Next, keep moving.
Go watch it.
I
You
missed
know,
it.
I was really, I still am amazed at the quality of the storytelling.
It's
that
amazing.
Ryan Murphy
Janet
has
Mark,
brought to the
Ryan
table.
Murphy, Stephen, The writers, the directors, the actors who I've really had the pleasant to sit down and talk to and had wonderful.
That's right. You met them. I
you
saw
did.
your pictures with Ryan Murphy.
And
I
they were
saw
just
that.
Amazing. I mean,
He needs to write you in.
I think he should.
I will say,
But can I share something with you, Miss Racine Pendavis? That may be in the works.
Hey, Chris.
You never know who we know.
You may
You never know who we know.
Your name has come up in a conversation a couple of times with a few people that's associated with the show. So I don't think that she wants to reveal or put it out there, but your name has been dropped several times.
We get 35%.
Oh, come on
I just
now.
want
Yeah,
that
we,
on
we take a bite of her profits.
Racine is being humble right now, guys. I'm just putting it out there.
All right, so yeah,
You may never know what season 2 and 3 may have.
I do want to say,
Congratulations to
for
Pose.
those of you who, if you have not heard of Pose or have heard about it and haven't seen it, please watch. It is an absolutely amazing show. Can't wait for season 2. And I loved the finale. I don't care what nobody say. Blanca and Billy Porter are going for the Emmy, baby.
Well, a lot of people are
They
going for it.
They're going for the
A lot of
Emmy.
their performances have been great.
Can I bring up a subject matter?
Sure.
Would this be out of the
Go
way?
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, because
But we got a lot to do. But
Okay, I know we got a
keep
lot to do, so I'm gonna try to make it quick because I'm not used to the panel. So this is it, so this is it. Okay, so a conversation has come up, and I don't want to get it political because I know that you guys are definitely associated with some of the people from the show and the makers and stuff like that. And this is just said as a kind of hypothetical examination. I know a lot of the there is one particular trans vlogger who's very supportive of the show. The writing is amazing, everything's beautiful, but they were talking about the whole narrative of the lighter skinned people kind of being in the forefront. How do you guys feel about that?
But they're not. Look at Dominique, Tyra Allure. She is the mother of the House of Abundance.
And she's celebrated as the most beautiful.
She
Okay.
is the grand dame in beauty and represent her regalness when she comes on. Look at her.
And if we
And look at Angelique Rose.
And
Billy Porter.
however,
Okay.
I will say that unfortunately, that is at that time period in the 80s.
Yes.
Light
the way it
was
was.
in.
What-
You see what I mean? And so I get. So if we're going to stick to as a writer,
Yeah.
I know that when you're talking about a time period, you want to look at the social construct of what was happening at the time. And so I think, in my opinion, though I understand where they're coming from, I think the reality of it is in that time frame, that's what was happening.
Well, yeah,
Right.
but I
I
don't
agree.
think that's true though. The time frame was that was the issue. Colorism was an issue.
You don't
It's still
think
an
that's
issue.
the point of
but
the
I don't
show.
think I don't think
That's the
that's
point.
I don't think that's true though. I think it shows a variety of the
The
colors
diversity of,
and
who
the
we, of
diversity,
what we
right.
are.
Right.
So, and I think that it's beautiful because it's telling a narrative of a particular group that has not been shown in so
Absolutely.
many different ways.
Yes.
They've been robbed.
Yes.
A lot of people have stolen the culture.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
But let me ask you guys this though: do you believe that? I have seen a few episodes of Pose. I'm gonna binge watch.
Me too.
Gotta binge watch.
because I haven't
Yeah.
seen it. I don't have time, and people who know me personally know I don't watch TV. That
I don't
often.
watch a lot either.
Right. So I will tell you this: do you guys believe that it will? It's a matter. Someone said something on my on the Misunderstood Social Worker one night. They said that they believe that that's kind of offering up ballroom culture to people that are not going to necessarily respect it. Like for instance, I did an event with Harmonica Sunbeam, and she made a very good point. She said, I've been doing this for a very long time, and I'm being looked upon like I haven't arrived because I haven't done RuPaul's Drag Race. Because what it does, it kind of says that, well, this is what I know, and anything beyond that, it's not relevant. It's not real. And she said, no, I've been able to work and I've been doing this just as long as before the show existed.
Right.
But, and someone mentioned that. Do you believe that that would have an impact on balls? Because like, for instance, FX can say we're sponsoring the Pose Ball. And that's the biggest ball compared to any ball that has ever existed ever. And then what happens is that all of those smaller houses that have been doing things for years, they get overlooked because Hollywood's involved and because money's involved. How do you feel about that, Ms. Pendavis?
Oh, well, let me say this. Everybody has asked me why I was not on Pose. I have gotten that so many times, and my answer is when I received the call sheet like everyone else, I had to agree to a set time and agree to certain things. I could not.
Yeah.
I could not. Scheduling just wouldn't. I was honored that it was sent to me. I would have loved to have been a part of it. I had no idea that it was posed because when it came, it was, we are looking for extras. We're looking for actors. They didn't say what it was.
It was
And they didn't
fragmented.
say-
Yeah.
It was fragmented.
Yeah.
But if had I known what I know now,
You would have made yourself
I'd have
available.
jumped on it. But no. But here it is. In all honesty, it tells all of our stories. I'm a pioneer
is.
of that
It does.
community.
It does.
So seeing it, I am represented on a screen. You don't need to see racing. I don't really need to be there.
It's
but
historic.
I like to be, but I feel it represents me.
Right.
I don't
Right.
feel slighted not one bit.
No.
I
Celebrate
that
it.
show
Right.
in every essence.
Right.
I celebrate it for all those who could not be there. I celebrate it because it tells us, it tells the stories of LGBT people beyond the ball.
Beyond the ball.
Right.
And I love
Alicia
that.
Kelly
So,
said,
and that's where I applaud it. It tells the human stories, the essence of what we went through as LGBTQ people, and it's just beyond the ballroom. So I applaud
right.
them. It is telling amazing stories. So I celebrate it in every way. And you know, and I believe what everybody has, what God has for them is God has for them.
So can we do
Hold
a
on.
quick clap for Pose? Come on, guys.
said- Tony Nelson, you had said at the show, Alicia Kelly had said something that I thought
well,
was
she had
quite-
asked me had I
yeah.
seen it, and I told her I have not seen it yet because I've been what do you call it, DVRing it. But I work on Sunday nights, and then I have to be at my regular job at 7:00 on the Monday. So when I get home, I go to
gonna
sleep.
binge it.
So I'm gonna binge it. But she said, "Oh, but you have to watch it." I said, "Why?" And she said she was telling me why. I said, "Alicia, you don't understand. I'm from the East Coast. You don't understand. Even though I did not go, I went to the balls, but I didn't participate like a lot of like Racine did. However, the House of Allure was born in my living room.
Oh, wow.
I'm a part. People don't realize I'm a
Okay.
part of history. Jeffrey Ayers and Dayon were my roommates. That place was
Jeffrey Ayers,
It
yes,
was
Jeffrey.
born in my living room. So it's a historic thing. And then she looked at me and she said, "Well, you know, that's what's important about it. I think because it's really." Helps younger people because it will show them what you went through and what these kids went through to make life
A space
better
for you.
for them, a space for them now.
But you know,
and ultimately, what I think it does is, it
opens
raises
the door for
awareness
something
for the whole culture.
Right.
So rising tides raise all ships.
Right.
Right.
So
Let me
anything-
say this.
Yes.
And
Should I
let
write
me
that
say,
down? Should I write that down?
This is the first time
Tweetable
ever
moment.
a show has employed 238
I think
LGBTIQ
all that's important.
identified
And
people
that's
Of color.
Yes.
of
Color.
all colors, and
Yeah.
238 all identified with this entire show of LGBTQ people. First time ever. So, baby, that's breaking barriers with
And many of
itself.
them we know.
Absolutely.
Right, a lot of people we know, and
Right.
and so we're glad that they're going to raise their
And
profiles.
so, you know, the reason why I ask those questions is because I've been holding on. I've been holding on and have not watched because I don't like, people spoil things on social media.
Yeah.
You going through your show. I'm like, yes, bitch.
You
know,
better watch
You know,
it.
and so I'm like, oh my God, I want to be able to get into it. Like, for instance, when Insecure came out, I did not watch it until like 6 months later.
I loved
and
it.
loved it.
Loved
You know what I mean? The second season, of course, I was watching it as
Yes.
it aired.
Yes.
So I want to have that moment with Pose where I'm on vacation.
Me
and
too.
I catch those episodes and I fall in love with the
but
characters.
it deserves the recognition.
It
that
does.
That
Yes,
it's
it does.
And it's going to
And
create
you know what?
some
What
stars.
I
We
love
gotta move
about
on.
it is that straight
We
women,
really got to move on.
straight women who were our allies during that time have come to me and called me and said, Racine, we lived that. We went through that. That's telling the story of my cousin who I stood by. That's telling the story of my brother and my sister. And these are straight women telling me this.
Yes.
So it's saying it speaks volume way beyond it what it's doing.
All right. So
Can I
Jacob-
say something real quick? I'm sorry. So Racine, thank you for being part of that original culture, and thank you for paving the way.
Oh, and I
all of you
appreciate
guys.
it.
So there's
actually.
more to be said around Pose, and actually for the premiere of season 2, I would love to host a watch party. So I would put that out there, and so we'll see. We'll keep everyone
Yes.
posted on that. Okay, all right.
All
So-
right,
So
next.
we've got to keep it moving. Actually, I'm going to skip through a lot of this stuff. So, but I did want to put up one issue. Swerve Weekend, image number 13. Do we have that, Jacob? Do we have that? So we're going to finally do Swerve Weekend, September 28th through the 30th. It's
Yay.
going to be a celebration of our 10-year anniversary.
10 years.
10 years of publishing this magazine.
10 years.
We're going to do a fashion event. There'll be a fashion showcase, a talent showcase,
10
a
years.
town hall meeting, and as well as an award ceremony and party. So
Did somebody say 10 years?
10 years. All
10
right.
years.
So
10
let's keep it
years.
moving. We've got a great artist who I just saw this video because he performed at Slayfest this year. And I didn't go to Slayfest, but I saw that he was performing, and I caught this. And this is Punk Adams doing Corner Store. It's a great video. Check out the story. All right, let's run it, Jacob.
Run that video.
We got back on.
Welcome to the Corner Store Podcast. I'll just jump right in and take the next call. Caller, what do you have to say to the listeners today?
Alright, so I have a man. Him keep on and tell me say I got a corner store. Some of the sides say I go follow him. And a good thing say I follow him. Because guess what? I'ma find out say I cheap on me with my best friend. My best friend. So when they tell us that I got a corner store, don't trust them because it's all lies.
We just need to do a whole show about Pose.
We really should.
Somebody said move on.
He said what? He said what?
Chris Ezel said move on.
Ooh. Okay, thank you.
What can I do to keep how much in our house? That's all.
Turn me up. Up some more. Up some more. Yeah. I just had to change my point of view. Everything old somehow becomes brand new. I am just intrigued with the current state of you. Life is going on, yet you refuse to move. I don't know if you wanna stay inside the glory, 'cause all the mystery in the places that you're going, intriguing as it seems, don't you think it's kinda boring that you stick to them lies that you feed me every time? Everything is at the corner store. That's where he goes when he wanna leave his home. I don't know what's there. I don't know who cares. But he's always gone. Yeah. But he's always. Yeah. But he's always. Yeah. But he's always gone. Hey, yeah, yeah. Turn me up. Up some more. Up some more. Yeah. I can hear myself now. Riding in a new LX on the hunt to kill Bill and a new suspect. Yeah, you was real suspect, so I had to keep an eye out to see what's next. Pissing me off. Remember when you said get your Christian Dior? Said your mink had to sat down to the floor. Tried to swipe my card, but it said what for? Or I am the tide in your wave. I am the how with your sway. I am the bat in your back. I am the boom with your cat. I am the thing you lack. Big fat motherfucker with the puff. Don't make me hit him with the 1-2 punch. Don't make me hit him with the how you eating lunch. Can't say you creeping, but I got a hunch. Everything is at the corner store. That's where he goes when he wanna leave his home. I don't know what's there. I don't know who cares. But he's always gone. Yeah. But he's always. Yeah. But he's always. Yeah. But he's always gone. Hey, yeah, yeah.
yes.
Oh, the corner store. That took me back to living in New York, baby.
And you walk away with the sexy chocolate.
Wasn't that
dark-skinned
cute?
boy.
But the whole idea was his boo went to the corner store.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, what's going on? So he goes and gets
He
it.
wouldn't got him.
So when your people says they're going to the corner store.
It was so funny. I was on that very corner 2 weeks ago
Doing
in New
what?
York.
In
My
Harlem.
good friend.
Was you walking on the corner?
I was walking on the. No, I was actually walking the corner.
Oh, well, bless it.
You weren't
On a Sunday morning with the church ladies.
Lord, you didn't do a Vogue album.
Sandra Lopez, I'm gonna kill you. She said somebody's gonna get hurt playing in the street.
Anyway, that was
I love Harlem.
he's a great artist. Actually, that's my first
He's
time.
really dope.
Checking him out. So we
I
gotta
love the
check
video.
out Punk Adams a little bit more. Okay,
Come on,
y'all.
Punk Adams.
Well, y'all, we want to talk with our celebrated host here,
Yes.
Mr. Joseph, the misunderstood social worker.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Well,
I'm so
thank you for
honored to be
coming.
here.
Of
Thank
course.
you for putting it on your calendar
That's
and
right.
coming.
Thank you. You know what? I'm gonna say this. When I got asked to do this, it was just amazing. And because can I keep it all the way live?
Yeah,
100.
keep it live.
That's all the way we
Keep it
do
live.
it.
So let me keep it raw. Okay, so Racine Pendavis was the first person to ever ask me to do something locally 2 years ago. As the misunderstood social worker, I did one of your events, and she reached out to me 6 months before the event.
Yeah,
and was
they-
like,
yeah.
we want to use you.
Racine's a planner.
And let me tell you something, Racine. And from that point forward, everything popped. I was in New York, I was in Atlanta, I was in Dallas, I was in South Carolina, and I'm like, yo. And then I remember I was like, I sent you a message, and I was like, if you ever need me for anything, let me know. I think, and you know, your people didn't respond, but it's all good. I know you got people behind you.
We need
but-
our check.
right. So, and then Yarday, I saw Yarday at a pageant.
Yes, Miss Universal Latina.
Yes, and Miss Universal hosted by I can't remember.
Right.
Yes, but I remember I was there with Ivana.
Yes, she
and,
was.
yes,
Yeah.
and I was just like, you were like, can I take a picture with you? And I'm like, huh? Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I usually get that in Atlanta, different places, but I was like, wow. And then I see you at Pride, and you're like, I'm so honored to have you be part of Swerve. And I'm like, huh? And then right after that, I get a message from you. So I'm thankful that you guys have
Absolutely.
me
So
here today.
before we run out of time, though,
Yes, I'm sorry.
You got to tell people who and what you are. So
Yes.
tell us what is this phenomenon, the misunderstood social worker?
Okay, so the misunderstood social worker actually started about 4 years ago, and I will say that I am a licensed mental health therapist. I am a social worker by license. I am in private practice. That's what I do. And so what happened was that it actually came from a place of losing jobs, never ever feeling like there was something that worked for me until I started doing my own thing. And in 2013, I got released from DC government. And I'm going to keep it all the way raw. I said something. You know, I'm a firecracker. I can say some things sometimes. And I stood up for myself. And standing up for yourself means that you don't fit the mold.
Yes.
And so as a result, I said, you know what? I'm not going to let nobody stop me from doing what I do. I actually was sitting up one night on social media, and a dear friend of mine who's actually on the show, look, I'm name dropping, who's actually on the show, Star, Miss Lawrence, hit me up. And I was doing videos, and you know, wasn't nothing doing anything. And they were like, child, if ain't nobody watching, you just say what you want to say. And the moment I said what I wanted to say, T.S. Madison hit me up. And then from there, it became just do you. And I started doing me, and I started being raw and honest. And I said, I'm going to incorporate what I do for a living, because for a long time I kept that separate, because in my arena, people like to play by the book. And I realized I was never successful by playing by the book. So I work with LGBTs. I work with women. I do a lot of therapy with men who just got released from prison. I got a contract with C. Sosa, a bunch of other people. So what happens is that my job is to make people feel so good.
So good.
So good.
You're doing counseling.
Yes, I am a mental health therapist. That's what I do. I do cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yes.
I do psychotherapy. And so what you see as the misunderstood social worker with the nightly reflection is psychoeducation. I know for me, there is no, from what I believe and from what I saw, there was no outlet for the LGBTQ person to actually have somebody to say, you know what, today I don't feel beautiful. You know what? I got fly today and I went to the club and nobody looked in my direction. You know, I am 40 years old and I got gray pubic hairs and I'm concerned about whether or not somebody's going to want me. Right. You know, or I got a little stomach. I mean, I feel sexy and empowered, but I got a little stomach. Am I the desirable one? So I wanted to give a voice to those people. Then as I done this, I noticed that the cisgender woman started to feel that. They started to dig deep with me. So if you really think about it, and I don't hate to say it, most of my supporters are women. Cis women.
I can imagine.
And it just came out of the blue. And I'm really thankful. And as a result of what I've been doing, I got a call from Ayanla. I did an event with her last summer.
Oh, wow.
I hosted Black Therapist Rock, which is a huge conference.
We got an idea. We got an idea for you with her, but we'll talk about
Yes,
that.
yes. So as a result, I've been so thankful that it's come. And I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to keep it all the way raw and live. Who inspired me to do this was a transgender woman. Her name is Cookie Tookie.
Yes, Cookie
Yeah, Cookie Tookie.
Samantha
I think I know
James.
Cookie.
Yeah.
Samantha James.
One
Cookie
night,
Tookie. Cookie Tookie.
Miss Cookie Tookie.
Cookie.
One
Get
night,
up off of those.
Yes. One night I was sitting up, and I guess she must have been off of one of her little binges. This was back in the day.
Right.
And she got a hotel. She was in a nice hotel, and it was right around the time Beyonce dropped that Beyonce album, and that song Pretty Hurts was playing. And she came on and was like, I want to talk about loose silicone. And she was just very raw and was like, you'll never see me naked. My body is jacked up. You know what I'm saying? And she was very honest about that. And I noticed that right before bed, I would always do a video journal. I would always journal my feelings. So one night, just watching her, I just spoke about how I felt about it, and I posted it. And out of nowhere, it moved. I was just honest. I said, my man left me. I don't feel beautiful right now. I lost my job and I own a property. You know, and I didn't know that people would just hop in and be like, you're not alone, or I feel the same way. Let's
So
create.
folks are empathizing,
Right. So then after that, I started to be upfront and talk about what I did. So as a result, I pulled myself together, and then I started to pull other people with me. And that's what the nightly reflection consisted of. I did meet Racine in 2014, and she said, Joe, you got to be more positive. You have to be more
Did
positive.
you find that you were too negative? Is
I
that
was
what
I was at the mandate, and I was only telling my truth. I said I've never been on social hookup sites. I've never been on Jacked or Grindr or Pete or BGC or anything. And I made a couple of statements like, that's never been my world. I've never been on those sites.
Well, you can meet good and bad people anyway.
Right.
But see, you got to understand. Daryl Wallace is my gay father.
Oh,
And
Do I know
I
Daryl Wallace?
miss
I
Daryl
miss
Wallace.
him too.
I love
I miss
that
him
man.
too. So Daryl Wallace, I'm used to the organic thing. I met him when I just moved to DC in
Yes.
my 20s, and so he taught me meet somebody up front. I'd rather you lie to me in person than behind a screen name.
Well, you get a chance to, the screen name is just a buffer, and then you
Right,
say,
That's just the bat signal.
And I'm not.
That's
and
just
you know
the
what,
bat
though?
signal.
And that
and
night,
coffee turns to dinner.
right. And you know what though? And that night at Mandate, Racine pulled me and told me, "You're absolutely beautiful, and you present a certain way. You can't be so judgmental." And I wasn't putting my clinical part in it. I was putting my personal self in it because I lost love to a social site. So I was venting, and then after that, I finally mixed it the right way. And the format worked out. And then out of nowhere, Racine called and said, I would love for you to come and speak. So she gave me my stamping. She stamped me.
Racine, your check is in the mail.
Right.
Your check in the mail, girl.
And you are beautiful.
You are beautiful.
We want to get you the smudge test.
Absolutely beautiful.
We're going to get you the smudge test because I wasn't sure if that was maybe
Asparagus, and Brussels sprouts.
Okay.
That's the beauty. That is
But-
the beauty vegetable.
asparagus.
But I'm gonna say this to
Beauty-
you.
Y'all heard that here.
Asparagus.
When I first saw you, I people have lights. We all have lights. And your light was so amazing. And I knew when you were speaking and had the room, you captured it. And it's hard to control the queens.
Yeah.
And it is hard to really speak truth in a room full of a lot of folks full of pain.
Yeah.
So
And when they are in that much pain, you are a source of light. And that healing came in a way that when I saw it, it was like boom, 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 like fireworks. And I said, my God, this young man has something very powerful that not too many people possess or contain it or understand it. And once you start harnessing that, didn't I say them doors are going to open?
Yeah.
So what's been the feedback you've gotten from people?
Oh, wow.
And the impact is it? I mean, has it? I'm sure it's impacted some people's lives.
Yes. I get messages every day. Sometimes it's overwhelming. Videos have been like, and let me say this to you guys about social media, and I'm answering your question. We can't get caught up in viral. Fight videos go viral, and nothing comes from it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. So a dear friend of mine, T.S. Madison, told me, Jojo, it's all about who's looking at it, who's watching it. And so I noticed that I don't get into internet beefs. I don't have issues with people that come for me
Right.
because I stay in my lane. Mr. Alani B told me, go where you're wanted. Anywhere they ain't welcoming to you, don't deal
Come
with
on
it.
now.
You know what
Shout
I mean?
out to Lonnie B.
Right. Shout out to Lonnie B. I go where I'm wanted, and the feedback has been amazing. I'm enthralled every day when I get a call or something, and I'm gonna keep it all the way live. I'm going out the,
Yeah, I hear you going. You're talking all over the country.
Yeah,
so-
I'm gonna be flying. I'm gonna be.
We'll talk about it.
Right,
Celebrate
I
it.
can't say
You
too much.
can't say
He
too
can't.
much.
Right.
He
You
wants
can't
to.
go
You
into
got
it.
Don't say
to
that.
keep it. You got to keep it.
Just
to
say
yourself.
you walking in your faith.
I'm walking in my
Right.
faith. God has just the Misunderstood Social Workers Nightly Reflection has warranted so many great opportunities, and
Like what? Tell us about them. You're around the country.
well, actually, I'm gonna be in California very soon.
Thank you, Sandra.
Very, very soon for a
Working
very
on a
important.
project.
Yeah,
Just
working
say
on a
that.
project. I'm very excited about that.
You're speaking. Are you teaching? Are you
Yes,
counseling
so
about
I
the
do.
country?
Yes, I'm doing. I do motivational speaking and coaching. I actually just completed a contract with the Shade Room.
Yay!
And so basically,
what's
that's
the shade room? I don't know. What
The Shade Room
That's another,
is another popular blog.
Yes,
okay.
yeah. So I did some wonderful work for them. So I do therapeutic coaching, and so a lot of people in the Shade Room, the writers, they tend to get attacked. If you say anything about Beyonce,
Yes.
Nicki Minaj, now Cardi B, like all these people,
Beyonce's
you will get
Slave.
annihilated. You know what I mean? So a lot of times I got reached out by the owner, and she wanted me to do some coaching, and because she has they're remote writers. There are a lot of writers from DC that actually work for the Shade Room. So anyway, I've been doing that. I'm also doing a huge conference in South Carolina. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to do.
What is it? Is it something we should know about? Tell us.
It's an LGBTQ conference, and you know what though? I should have.
South Carolina. Is it part of their Pride?
It's
maybe?
part of their Pride event.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And then I'm going to be in Atlanta. That I can't really speak on that one because that's still getting
It's
worked
still-
out.
Tell
Yeah.
people.
Still
Because
getting
they
paid.
They ain't
Talk
dry
about
yet.
it.
They ain't
You don't
dry
want to lose
yet.
that contract.
They ain't signed the contract.
They ain't signed the contract
He
yet.
ain't dry yet.
Right.
Well,
and
let,
then-
well, let me say
But
this.
I do want to say
Tell
this.
people where they can
Right, I was
follow
getting ready
you
to-
so they
thank
know
you, Ray.
what's
Because
going
we're getting a
on.
lot of people
Yes,
asking.
people can follow me at Joseph Williams, and if you type in Joseph Williams
On Facebook?
okay, or the Misunderstood Social Worker, everything will show up. If you type in Joseph Williams, the Misunderstood Social Worker will show up.
Gotcha.
I have a group called the Misunderstoods where we just talk about life, we talk about healing. I also have a women's group for all women of all walks of life, cis, trans,
Oh,
and
well,
it's
I
called.
need to be calling in.
Yes, we have a
Right.
women's group. We're going to actually be planning a conference very soon.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
also,
Come on, Joseph. Come on now.
I'm in talks with something here local. And that's the thing. And I wanted to say this. I don't get asked to do anything local, and it's okay.
I
And it's
remember
okay.
when
No,
you did
you
that.
shouldn't.
I remember you did a post and you had talked about it. And you
Yes.
was like, because you had when you got the event for Pride this year.
Yes.
And you were very emotional.
Yes.
And you had said, I never get booked in DC.
Yeah.
And which is, I'm in awe. Like I love your show.
Well, that's
but
because
it-
we see you walking around and we know you. You're too familiar.
But a prophet is never respected in his own country.
But that's what I was. What is the saying? Because
Say
it
it,
happens to me
speak.
too. I
Say
get
it
booked
again.
more out of town. Than
Yeah.
A prophet is never. I'm sorry. A prophet
ahead.
is never respected.
Right. Now,
in
but
their
now-
own country.
And I will tell you this. This is, whether y'all know it or not, this is a highlight for me.
Oh.
This is a highlight for me. I've always watched Swerve. And I've always, not watched, I've always read Swerve.
Right.
Hallelujah,
Swerve
we love you
magazine.
for that.
So I have Swerve in my office. And so I actually went to an event and I met you at the when they had the screening of Check It.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, and I remember you said something to me. And can I be very honest
Me or
with you?
Tony?
You could.
It was you.
You.
Yes.
And check it.
Yeah, they were doing a Check It screening
Okay,
show.
I've seen
a
like
panel
5
discussion.
screenings, so,
yeah,
yeah.
it was down at one of those federal government
Yes,
buildings.
yes, that's right.
Yes,
I remember.
And I remember you said, "Yeah, you. I want to talk with you." And I'm not gonna front. My heart melted. I'm like, "That's the dude from Swerve. Oh, he is fine.
Isn't he fine?
Say it again.
He's beautiful."
And
But-
single.
but
And
real-
single.
But real quick, I just wanted to say one thing. First of all, you said you were honored to be here. We're honored to have you here.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I have been waiting for
Absolutely.
this night for a long time.
Yeah.
And for one reason, I see right now, Will Tamisha Iman just said she was
Yes.
conflicted about ending her show.
show.
and you have just inspired
no,
her to
don't
keep
end the
going.
show.
And I
We got 5 minutes show.
love her show. So the work has been done right there.
And also, too, while we're talking about it, I do want to give
Tamisha,
a
do
shout
not end
out.
your show. Keep
I
it
do
moving.
also want to give a shout out to Sophia McIntosh, the legend from Atlanta.
Sophia
That's
McIntosh
tuned
is
in,
tuned
and I want to
in.
make sure that we recognize that she's here. We appreciate you for tuning in.
So,
of the
so
most
what's
talented
next?
people
We
I-
got 4 minutes.
We got
So
4
what's
minutes.
Next? What's
So,
next?
guys, I didn't want to say it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out
Go
there.
ahead and say it.
So, the Misunderstood Social Workers Nightly Reflection. I do a lot of storytelling, which are true to life, and I actually have a book.
Yay.
Is
it out?
No, it's
coming.
not coming. It's not out yet, but it's coming out
Coming.
very soon. And I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited because I'm not doing this by myself. So what that means is that a lot of people self-publish, and I've been blessed to say that I did not.
Well,
have done
as you see, we
That's
celebrated
amazing.
Darnell Moore's book.
Yes,
So
and
actually
I
on the
read
file.
Darnell's more. I read Darnell Moore's book, and I want to say shout out to Darnell Moore.
Absolutely.
And,
Come on now.
he is dope. He is
And he's
absolutely
beautiful.
and I want to meet him so bad.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I
he'll
should-
be- he'll
I-
be
we
down
gonna-
here soon. He'll
We're
be
gonna
down
put
here
it in
soon.
the
when y'all
atmosphere.
bring him here, I want to hug his body.
Okay.
We all want to hug his body.
Stand in line, boo. Get your ticket. Get your ticket.
Yeah, get it
Darnell
right.
Moore, hit me
There's
up.
a line.
So can I just say
Darnell,
something?
there's a line.
Can
We
I say
know that.
something? Since we're on a massive platform, there's somebody that I want you guys to bring in here.
Who's that?
Sure.
Sonia Renee Taylor,
Got it.
poet. She got a book called "The Body Is Not an Apology."
Oh.
Actually, I think we
I've read-
included her in one of the issues. We ran the release
Yes.
from the book. One of the
I'm
issues.
dear
Yeah.
friends with her. She would love it. Also, Hope Giselle.
okay.
Hope Giselle.
Another powerful-
She'll
I know
be,
that
she'll be
name.
in town tomorrow.
Another
will
powerful
do.
person.
Yeah, Hope Giselle. She'll be in town
Okay.
tomorrow.
Well,
and
we have
she-
this platform every Wednesday
Right, she
from
have a
10
book
to
coming
11.
out.
So
Yes.
send us the list.
I will.
Send us
And
the list.
also, I can't wait till y'all get Maddie on here.
T.S. Madison.
We
Oh my
would
God.
love
I
to
want
have
we did
Maddie
a
on.
cover story.
We did a
on
cover,
T.S.
but we need to get her
It
here.
was a great interview that George Jordan,
Yes.
Kevin
Which was
Jordan
so
did.
brilliantly
It really
done.
was.
We love
And
her.
we
Really
love to
wrote
bring
that
her down.
article.
I love to bring her
Right.
down.
So even with that being said, shout
we
out
love
to
to
all
come
the
on
people.
your show,
You know what?
T.S.
Though, and I'm gonna keep
Madison.
it all the way live. Shout out to all them people, except for minus Hope Giselle and Sonia Renee. But shout out to all those people. But you know what though? I'm gonna give them they G's. But you know what though? I'm learning every day. It's okay to give somebody a G.
Oh, of
They-
course. We
Sometimes
give-
it becomes disheartening when they don't give you G's
We
back.
giving you see all these
And so
G's
I'm
we
gonna say
giving?
this. I'm gonna say this. So support those who support y'all, and I support those who support me. I'm honored to be here. The Misunderstood Social Worker is about self-love and healing. It does get a little deep. It does get a little raw. We do talk about sex and sexuality, the expression of that. And I noticed that most of the people that enjoy my work are over 30.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. And so
Yeah.
I'm finding my niche.
Because they're
And I'm-
mature.
Can I say this? I know that we are
And
getting.
we got 2
I know,
minutes.
I know
Yes.
we're getting
One
ready to
minute,
close.
right, yeah.
But there are two things that came to mind out of everything that you talked about. One thing, I have this quote that I always say: sometimes walking in your truth will cause earthquakes in other people's fairy tales.
Okay, all right.
And I think it is so imperative that I love your story. That you said you're a firecracker.
Yeah.
That truth causes earthquakes in other people's fairy tales. That's
that.
one.
Oh,
Two.
okay, yo, we have
and
to
two,
cut it.
And two, I think it's so important that understanding that sometimes, as Nina Simone said, that sometimes when you don't have a place at their table, you make your own table.
That's right.
And
Clear the
so
table. Yeah.
that your story is inspiring because it's inspiring to Tamisha Iman. And when Michael Beale came, he talked about his experience. And it's my prayer that our show continue to inspire people because they hear stories like yours and tell them that make your own table.
All right.
Set
So,
your own
and on
table.
that note, we got to go. I
Thank
wanna-
y'all so
we have
much.
to cut it short. So we got to
Thank
thank
y'all
you
so much.
And I don't even have time to show the slide to say that if you want to advertise, please contact us. We
But
got
you
some
can.
advertising
Flash it.
sponsorship opportunities. Don't know if we got something to say that.
Flash that. Flash
that.
it.
And then we're going to say good night. I want to thank everyone for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Joseph, when the book comes out, we want to run an excerpt and Swerve.
I would love
and maybe
to.
a cover if you give us an advance.
Oh, that'll be
notice.
sick, man.
So we'll
Yes.
talk about that.
That
Anyway.
beautiful black on the
Thanks all
cover.
for joining
Yes.
us. Thank you for joining us.
Thank y'all
And
for having me.
We got to go. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody,
Good
and we'll
night.
see you next week.
All right. Thank you, Jacob.
Yeah.
Bye.
Listen vision, listen vision, DC's #1 recording studio. Listen vision, listen vision. vision.